I went through all my videos this year to find the top 10 that you guys watched, and we're gonna go through all the topics from 10 all the way to 1 and dive into a little bit about each story. So starting at number 10 is a video I did on Liza Koshi. The video is titled What Happened to Liza Koshi, and we kind of went through where she is right now and why she's no longer on YouTube. She's really dove into the entertainment industry. And honestly, looking back, it's just crazy to think that like Liza was in the vlog squad and that she was so online at one point and now she's hardly online. She's doing other projects, she's been in movies, she's had TV shows, she's hosted things, but YouTube is just not in her heart anymore. But that was definitely an interesting video to see in my top 10 that people were wondering where Liza was and kind of how she felt about YouTube and kind of diving into her past a bit. Much like my top 10 video, number 9 is the same way. It was a What Happened To video, and this one was about Lily Singh. In this video, I talked about how Lily had her NBC show and kind of what happened afterwards, the projects that she worked on, the shows that she was on, but mainly focused on the fact that Brittany Broski came out and said that Lily Singh had been done dirty by NBC, that she was basically set up to fail.
Was the Lily show good? That's what I couldn't wrap my mind around because I kind of thought it was bad.
They set her up for failure.
Yeah, probably.
The writers were awful. They had her doing way too much. They had her trying to fill the role of the straight white man comic. And that's not her sense of humor, and that's not playing to her strengths.
I think a lot of people have a lot of opinions about Lily Singh's show and what happened on that show. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people were ready for it to be canceled, but it is sad when you think about it and what went down. And in that video, I talked a lot about my feelings on how I felt like she didn't really get a chance to listen to the hate comments and change things. Her episodes were shot in multiples, like they shot multiple episodes a day, and it was pre-filmed so far in advance that she didn't really get that time to make changes. And it's sad that that was the case because it was such a big deal for a YouTuber to get a late night show, and for it to just not go well really sucks. I definitely wish that her episodes could have been more in real time so she could talk about current events and she could be more relatable, because it was not good when she was talking about going on vacation and making jokes about that and the pandemic was starting. Like, that was just confusing. And also her audience was younger and her show was coming on at like 1 a.m. That just was not making sense to anyone. But that was my number 9 story of this year. Number 8 is kind of crazy. The video was Tana Mojo calling out James Charles. This was obviously from way in the beginning of the year, and it's obviously very crazy to think about that now because recently we were just talking about the fact that Tana was at the H3 live show and Ethan was asking her to denounce James Charles on stage, and she was basically defending being civil with him and promoting his makeup, saying that, you know, her waterline, like it looks pigmented, all of this stuff. And so it's crazy to go back to the beginning of the year and watch this video where we're talking about the fact that someone had just come out with a TikTok where they said this is what their experience was talking to James Charles. And James had sent this guy a video of saying, you know, we need to be on FaceTime. You know, things get misinterpreted when you're texting, so we should FaceTime. And within that video was talking about this guy being straight.
So obviously, being that you are straight, I would assume that you don't know a lot about like the gay community.
Then this guy revealed text messages from James where he was basically pitching himself and saying the reasons why it would be great to date him. And it was very embarrassing and just uncomfortable that this was released and that, you know, he sent them in the first place. But Tana talked about this with Jeff on Jeff FM, and they thought it was so embarrassing and they were making fun of him and calling him out for his continuous inappropriate behavior.
Yeah, and it's the same shit he's always done. He's like not learning. What the f*** are you doing?
It's not a kid, it's a straight guy. Like, remember that a lot of his, like, cancellation was...
Is he underage?
No. Like, a lot of his, like, Well, I don't think so.
Oh, but he's just aggressively going after a guy that's, like, straight.
Like, and not a... Yeah. Read your DMs with James Charles right now.
Yeah, I unfollowed him after this past week because I realized I was following him and all this stuff and your beef with him, you know. We got each other's back. We ride together, and it's bad. You're doing the same you've been doing for the past 3 years.
It's just wild to know what's going on in current day. Story number 7 is the famous mascara scandal with Michaela Lashgate. her promoting L'Oreal's telescopic mascara and people feeling like she was wearing false lashes in the TikTok that she posted. This video was absolutely crazy, and it was the first time that I was really paying attention to Michaela because I had seen her a couple times on my For You page, but I hadn't ever really dove into her content, and this was the first time I was really making a video on her. You know, she still never addressed it. She never came out and said whether she was wearing lashes or not. I mean, it seemed pretty clear that she was, but she never confirmed it, I will say that, and obviously didn't affect her that much because of the fact that she has worked with plenty of other brands this year, which that part has gotten her in trouble because obviously a lot of people want her to be disclosing when she's doing advertisements and want her to be truthful in those advertisements, but that just hasn't been the case with Michaela. But Lashgate being in the top 10 cannot surprise me. That was just so crazy. At number 6, we have Morphe closing down their stores and their employees speaking out. I made a video talking about the fact that employees from Morphe stores were coming out on TikTok and they were saying that, you know, they got just a couple days notice or a night before's notice that the store was going to be shutting down and they were not going to have doors open anymore and that Morphe was just no more.
A day in the life of a Morphe makeup artist. So when I walked into my store this morning, it was completely empty, absolutely nothing except for foundations. We have not received answers as to whether we will still have jobs or our store will remain open.
So tomorrow is gonna be our last day working and we got 1 day notice. They told us on the 22nd of December that our last day of business is the 26th of December, which is today. And then tomorrow we're just packing up the store and we don't have a job anymore.
Now we know that Forma, which is the parent company of Morphe and so many other brands, did file for bankruptcy and things are just not looking good. A lot of papers were exposed, a lot of things were revealed, especially with Jaclyn Cosmetics being connected with Morphe and Forma and the fact that Jaclyn was not the CEO that she always said she was. And now in the video that I made last week, it sounds like Jaclyn Cosmetics is done for good and won't even have the opportunity to ever, you know, really be a thing again, because the way that she was talking in her recent video, how her products will be missed and how she's going to be sad when she runs out of stock of the things that are her favorite. But I can't be surprised that this story is in the top 10 because Morphe was just such a huge part of the beauty community on YouTube. Nearly every big beauty influencer at one point had a collaboration with Morphe, and so to see them close their doors was definitely a big deal, not just in the makeup community or to Morphe, but to our community as well. I mean, we talked a lot about them over the years. Now, number 5 is Ruby Frankie getting arrested. We had been talking about the 8 Passengers family for so long. I think the first video that I did on the family was back in 2020, and we always saw how strict Ruby and Kevin were, but I don't think any of us ever could have imagined what we know now coming to light happening. Like, we just never could have thought that something like that would have been happening behind closed doors. And it's just so disturbing to learn the details as they keep coming out about what darkness was in Ruby and Jody. Obviously, Kevin has said that he did not know what was going on in Jody's home and he had no communication with Ruby in the last year, but it is just very, very wild to see all that has come out about them this year and this family and all that they have been through, all the family members coming out and speaking out this year, because as far as we knew prior to this year, Ruby had seemingly just grown so much stronger in her connection with Jody and in connections and grown apart from her family. She had cut them off, and her oldest daughter Sherry had come out and said that she was no longer speaking to her parents. But that's all that we really knew, that she didn't really want to be around her family and that she was strict, but never could have imagined what this was. And her and Jody just recently both pleaded guilty, so they took a plea deal in this, and We don't know how long they'll be behind bars for, but they certainly need to be held accountable for their actions. Number 4 is quite an interesting story. This is one on Blac Chyna, specifically the video where she sat down with Jason Lee to talk about everything related to the Kardashians, or every rumor that's been said about her, basically. She talked about the fact that she did not seek out Rob as revenge for Kylie getting with Tyga, and that Rob was the one that reached out to her in the beginning of their relationship. She talked about going to court, suing the Kardashians. She took them to court because she felt like they had a hand in getting her show with Rob canceled on E! She felt like the ratings for their reality show, Rob and Chyna, were really good and that they should have gotten another season, but she felt the sisters didn't like her, and so they had the show canceled. The Kardashians denied it, and they actually won the court battle. Chyna lost the lawsuit, but in this interview, she said that she felt vindicated because she was strong enough to even go to court and, you know, try to do that. And in this same interview, she also addressed when she was called out by Tyga and Rob. At one point in time, Chyna had tweeted out, "Yesterday I had to give up 3 of my cars. My reasons: morals, beliefs, being a single mother, no support, I'm a mama." Rob and Tyga both reacted to seeing this, saying, "I pay $37K a year for my daughter's school. I handle every single medical expense. I pay for all her extracurricular activities. I have my daughter from Tuesday to Saturday. Why would I pay child support? LOL." Tyga said, "I pay $40K a year for my son's school, and he lives with me Monday through Saturday. Why would I pay child support? LOL." In the interview with Jason Lee, she was definitely trying to make it seem like she had to pay more towards childcare than Tyga and Rob did.
Baby fathers and whatnot went to say like how much they pay for schooling, but I'm like, do you not know how much I pay in childcare and in groceries and activities and this and that and that? Because we can add that up too. Any day I would switch the nanny fees and everything that I have to like pay on this side for that amount.
But that was number 4 on the list. Number 3 is a video I did on the Vlog Squad, specifically about the roast of Zayn Hijazi. Jason Nash put this roast on, and in it was revealed why Aaron was not friends with Zayn, Heath, and Mariah, and why they didn't go to her wedding. In the jokes, they also revealed a lot about Heath, made a lot of jokes about him being racist, but it basically came out as to why they didn't go to Aaron's wedding, and it was over a COVID test.
Zayn is really stubborn. He once ended a 10-year-long friendship by refusing to take a COVID test.
You know, Heath, it is so awesome that both of our fiancés are here. Oh, wait, this is awkward. You haven't proposed yet, you deadbeat. Hey, Mariah, don't worry though, okay? It doesn't mean that Heath doesn't love you. It's just that we all know how difficult it is for Heath to commit to actually going to a wedding. But Erin sends her regards, by the way. Anyways, thank you guys so much.
It was certainly a mess, and why I was talking about the Vlog Squad kind of falling apart, and Aaron and Carly weren't really hanging out with many of the members of the Vlog Squad. But kind of funny to look back at this roast though, because one of the jokes that was made about Heath and Mariah was the fact that they weren't engaged, and well, they did get engaged over Thanksgiving, so that's something that is an update. Now, story number 2 of this year was Colleen Ballinger. This was obviously a very, very crazy story, and seemingly every day this summer there was new information being released about Colleen. She was called out for talking to fans inappropriately and interacting with them inappropriately at shows. She was called out by Trisha Paytas, and it was revealed that she was sending around photos of Trisha Paytas's OnlyFans making fun of her with her fans. There were stories of how she was acting on the set of her Netflix show. There was just so much coming out about her, and it was awful. And the story that specifically made it to number 2 was when her ex-husband spoke out, and it wasn't even in the swoop video. That video hadn't even happened yet. This video that made it to number 2 was when he had tweeted out after seeing her ukulele video. After that video was posted, he took to Twitter to say, "Anyone feeling hurt and gaslit right now, my message to you is this: your experiences were real. The proof is there. Your trauma should be taken seriously. The proof is there. Your anger is justified. The proof is there. You deserve better. Take your power back. Sending you love. This behavior was my reality anytime I spoke up and disagreed with her actions and rhetoric during 2009 to 2016. I was gaslit too. I was made to feel like I was always the problem. Any pain I felt was an inconvenience and was belittled. Every ounce of what you're feeling, I understand. It's just really wild to know that Colleen is already back on the internet, vlogging as she once was. Every now and then she says something on the vlogs where people have called her out, saying that they feel like she's vying for sympathy of sorts. It's just crazy to think that she's already back. But moving into the top story of this year, this was Hailey Bieber versus Selena Gomez. This was crazy, you guys, and I still feel like it's kind of going on. I mean, no matter what you're looking at when it comes to Hailey's page or Selena's page on any social media platform, there's bound to be one comment about the other on each other's pages. But at the beginning of the year, everyone was coming for Hailey Bieber, saying that she was shading Selena Gomez. It all started with that one TikTok that she did with Kendall Jenner and Justine Skye, where the audio was, I'm not saying that she deserved it, but God's timing is always right. And people kind of connected it to the fact that Selena had recently gotten a lot of hate on some photos that she posted on Instagram, people body shaming her. People felt like that was connected. There was also the photo that Selena posted on her Instagram story talking about her brow lamination, and then Kylie Jenner posted a picture where people thought that she was making fun of Selena and she was on FaceTime with Hailey, and it was just a whole big mess, Hailey was asking for the hate to stop. Selena had gone on a social media break. Then Selena had come out with this statement saying that Hailey ended up reaching out to her and they had a conversation and they just both want the hate to stop, because it was just so wild. I mean, for like a whole month, it felt like this was going on and it was so loud and it was so intense. But it's kind of crazy to see how kind of like the tables have turned a little bit on Selena as of recent. I mean, I think at the beginning of the year, everyone was like super anti-Hailey. They were like, Justin doesn't even like you. He should be with Selena. And then now, Selena's found herself getting a lot of hate because recently she had confirmed her relationship with Benny Blanco, and a lot of her fans felt like Benny had shaded her at one point in time when he was talking about Justin Bieber in an interview with Zach Sang.
Look, Justin's not one of those like cookie cutter pop artists. Like, you know, they're like, this is my new single and here's my makeup line. And he's like Justin's like, yo, I have a pimple and I have anxiety today.
And Selena came to his defense saying that this is the best relationship she's ever been in. She was kind of coming at her fans a bit, and they were just a little bit shook. They were like, oh my gosh, like we have never seen her defend something so hard before. And they were kind of upset at her for some of the things that she was saying. And then she decided to take a social media break. It only lasted for a couple of hours before she came back and started posting again. But it definitely has been a very crazy year. And that was just one of the crazier times, that's for sure. But those were the top 10 topics of videos that I did this year. Just crazy, like going back and like remembering some of the things that we talked about or some of the things that were just so massive. And gosh, I'm like, what is about to happen in 2024? Like, are we even ready? Like, I need to freaking buckle up because, oh my goodness, you just never know. You just never know. But I want to know what you guys think about these videos and these stories. Let me know all your thoughts. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. This year, another year, I'm so excited for what's to come. I've definitely been planning things and I can't wait to do and see and show you guys everything. But I love you guys so much and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.